Ladies and gentlemen of the Paragon world, this is the second part of the big version 40 update, which is going to take forever to make. So in the first part I went through the hero updates and the gameplay changes. Now I'm going to go through the card updates and the general changes overall. So this is actually one half of the big card update, which is still in effect. So we'll have to go through version 40's bit, and then when the next big card update comes, which is probably going to be around in a few months time, yeah, I'll go through that as well. So the lesser health card, that's had health increased from 50 health to 60 health. Basic armor has had its CP increased from 7 to 8, and ability armor has been increased from 4 to 6. The Scout's Ward now has 150 health instead of pips and takes 60% reduced ability damage. The Shadow Ward has more health at 225 health and is basically the same with ability damage, and that's about it for the wards. So let's get into the changed cards. So, Circlet of Mana and Circlet of Health have both been reworked, so now it's a global aura. Armor Ball has been changed. It's no longer attack penetration at the standard stat, it is now attack speed, and you'll get more mana per basic attack from +2 to +6 points. Battle Mantra has been increased quite nicely. So when your mana is above 50% and you have this card equipped, it goes from 1.5 mana per second to 2.4 mana per second. Blood Catalyst has increased its mana regeneration to 17.5 seconds from 10 seconds for 10 seconds and has removed the critically wounded limitation. The Charging Brute card has had its movement speed stack per second from 10 milliseconds to 20 milliseconds. The buff duration has been increased from 5 seconds to 7 seconds and now has an ability to move through units during the duration. Imperium Mask has been changed. So, the power has been increased from 18 to 24, basic armor has been increased from 10.5 to 14, ability armor has been increased from 6 to 8, and mana regen has increased from 0.9 per second to 1.2 per second. Oh, before you start saying it's now all available, you still have to select it. Everglass is now a 5 card point card instead of a 6 card point card. Quantum Raptor has been changed. Instead of 1.4 health regen per second, 0.3 mana regen per second and 4% crit chance, it is now 5% lifesteal and 6 power points. Pin the Beast now works on jungle buffs, which now includes the green buff, in addition to the river buffs. And basic attack slow has been increased from 5% to 10%. Incessant Onslaught has been reworked. It now reduces active cooldowns by 0.2 per second per basic attack hit. Infinity Stream has been changed. So before you have mana regen scale from current mana, it is now missing mana, and has now been increased from 2.4 mana per second to 3.6 mana per second. Madball Sash has had its burn increased from 300 to 500 and increases damage to 12 plus 1.5 times the player level from 10 plus player level. Mending Bloom has had its stat changed from max mana to health regeneration. The mana regen increase rate is now from 3.8 mana per second to 6 mana per second for 15 seconds to yourself and nearby allies. Nano Drive now grants 100 movement speed for 2.5 seconds over 14 second cooldown period. Overflowing Gifts has had its stats changed from max regen to max health. It now increases health regeneration from 6 health per second to 9.5 health per second over a 15 second cooldown period. Purity Sensor has had its cooldown increase from 90 seconds to 120 seconds and now costs 80 mana to cast. Radiant Mantle is literally the same as Madball Sash. Rally the Troops now costs 50 mana to cast. The cooldown has been reduced from 2 minutes to 35 seconds, and the attack speed buff has now been increased from 22 attack speed to 33 attack speed points. Rocket Spike is now a 4 card power card instead of a 5 card power card. Satori Cloak has got an increased armor shred duration from 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Scorpion Plate now has an increased duration from 6 seconds to 10 seconds. It is now a 5 card power card instead of a 6 card power card, and it will no longer share a cooldown with Splinter Bark Vest. Shockwave has been reworked. It now deals 50 damage in a large radius around the hero, slowing enemies by 250 movement speed for 3 seconds, a 45 second cooldown, and it costs 50 mana to cast. Siren Song now has the slow magnitude increased from 40 to 60, and the slow speed buff has been reduced from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Splinter Bark Vest is pretty much the same, has Scorpion Plate, but it no longer shares the cooldown with, it's vice versa. Stab Link has been changed as well. To use the Blink, it will no longer cost 20% health, it will now cost 15% health. You'll no longer be required to not be critically wounded, but it still cannot be activated if your health cost would result in death. Wicked Stigma is now a passive. Thermo Bond will no longer activate in Dekka's containment vents. Tempest Pearl has now had its cooldown reduced from 60 seconds to 45 seconds and now costs 50 mana to cast. And Traitor's Touch has now had its bonus damage increased from 3% of current target's health to 5% of current target's health. And now for the cards which have been changed to Universal Affinity are Hemorrhage, Nanoplasm, Tainted Magic, and Status Gem. Although with Status Gem, the card cost has now been reduced from 7 card points to 5 card points. And now for the general changes. There's a Loot Crate update, in which there'll be 2 skins for FaZe and 2 skins for Iggy and Scorch. For FaZe, it's Aqua and Cobalt default, and for Iggy and Scorch, it's Coral and Marine default. Revenant's Mastery has been added to the Loot Crate, and 4 emotes have been added. So we've got Cloudbringer from Morigesh, Epic Rift from Greystone, Prove It from Dekka, and Hats Off from Revenant. UI has been changed. So now for PS4 players, you can now switch to the alternate configuration for newer players. The community tab has been added to the home screen. A community pop-up has been added. Golden keys are now here. And now there's a monthly Mega Vault added to the in-game home screen. So the rewards are currently, when it does come out, are Snake White Murdoch Deep Sea variation, a golden loot key, a standard loot key, and 3 diamond chests. Daily rewards have been changed. 2 quests have been removed. That's destroy 1 or 2 enemy inhibitors. Destroy 1 enemy ward has been added. And 3 quests have been changed. The ones you get now are destroy 2 enemy towers instead of 3, destroy 3 enemy towers instead of 7, and destroy 1 enemy inhibitor instead of 3. And there's now an animation when you receive new daily quests. There's been a fix on a display issue that caused daily quests to show more credit than it's actually been earned. The reticle will now turn red when you are targeting a valid target, and the damage number pop-ups have been changed. The numbers are now smaller. The physical damage moves to the right and energy damage moves to the left. Crits are slightly bigger and pop up more. And no more scaling numbers on the amount of damage. The minion health bar has been tweaked. The minion health bar no longer scales. And the health bar background fades out when it's not targeted. There's been adjustments to the placement of the health bar, recall, and respawn UI. If players were using the alternative control scheme, it is now the default. So new players will have this alternative control scheme by default. The boost indicator on the front end no longer glows gold even if no boosts are active. And there's now a bonus star event for when you start at a higher tier than bronze for the star chest. Agora has been updated. So the Stealth River buff now triggers the same Shadowplay visuals as Kalari's Shadow Walk and Necrovale card. There's also been minor tweaks to the Shadowplay post-processing to better fit with Monolith's updated visuals. War Destruction visual effects have been improved. Minor visual polish and optimization on minion death effects and tower projectiles and impacts. Tower projectile impacts now leave less residual plasma particles hanging around. The polish also passes on to the minion and jungle creature impact effects. Minions should no longer follow players into the jungle when aggroed at spawn. And now for the AI tweaks. So the bot difficulty has been tweaked. So we've got normal bots will now run away when hurt a bit sooner. Easy bots will no longer recall, will take damage under the tower, and no longer avoid AoE attacks, and the intro difficulty is a bit easier than that. They will now no longer run away when hurt, they will have delayed strategic reactions, and max targeting distance has been brought in 500 units. And bots will no longer attempt to recall while suffering a direct on target attack. And there's been a couple of audio fixes as well, so we got a generic impact sound fix that plays when damaging another hero. The shadow plane sound added for the purple buff and shadow plane card. And the draft lobby should now play the front end music selection correctly. And there's been a fix for the extra meshes, so things like helmets and pumpkin heads, not disappearing on heroes when the camera gets too close. And there's been a huge amount of fixes for all the heroes, which are general effect fixes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is version 40. Oh my god, this was big. But it's finally done, you know. It's finally done, and it's probably going to be a huge patch. But you know, we're finally having a good patch. Kalari's now useful. Murdoch's now useful. Some cards are now useful for everyone. It's good to see. So, thank you for watching part 2 of this bloody patch. And I shall see you all real soon. Goodbye.